Hi everyone, I am Natalie Setareh. I am a makeup artist turned makeup educator and author of the book Be Your Own Makeup Artist.
And I am Tammy Parrish, an image consultant who works with ambitious professionals to help them look and feel even better in less time.
Tammy and I decided that it would be a really fun way to sprucing up our drab and athleisure routine with some fun spring makeup and fashion trends that we can probably all use right now to just make ourselves feel a little bit better and a little bit more put together and a little bit more confident for the random errands and video conferencing calls that we have.
All right, I'm excited. Let's go. So let's talk about the coral lip. And I think we should combine the coral lip with the statement color.
Okay.
Do you want to start with the coral lip of the season?
Well, I can talk about, I have a little palette with different corals, and I can just kind of talk about how to coral works for you and your skin tone. And I mean, some of these are more pinky corals and some of them are more coral corals. You can see, this is obviously pink, but it definitely does have the more warm undertone in it. And so I can talk about the different corals, how to find a coral, and how to multi-purpose it too, because corals are mostly, they can be used as cream blush and cream eyeshadow.
Aha.
Yeah.
So how do you pick? How do you know based on your skin tone which coral is best for you?
So, a lot of it is trial and there's science behind it, right? So you can go and find your skin tone and find that perfect coral color according to science. And you can see it and you can just hate it. And that's okay because it's not rocket science. You need to wear something that you're comfortable with. And so this is a tool that I use all the time. This is developed by Terry Tomlinson. I'm a former student of hers, but she developed this color wheel. Obviously, this is not representative of all the tones. She's not trying to do that here. She's trying to train your eye for color, which I'm sure you are also trained. So I look at color. Yes, you have one. Perfect. Yeah. So you have the, I think, fashion one. And
Yeah, this is specifically made for skin tone, right?
Specifically. So the one thing that I think it's really important that I want to make sure that everyone who's listening knows is that everyone's skin, every human being, skin falls in a color of brown. So even the fairest of fair, it's still a brown. And even the deepest of deep, it's still brown. So you're really, once you can actually wrap your head around the fact that we all have brown skin, it's just what level of intensity and how dark and how fair are we, then you can find your undertone. So one thing about corals is that you can't really go wrong no matter your skin tone, okay? Unless you are really cool. Okay, if you are a really cool undertone, it's going to create a big contrast and a statement. Just like if you were to wear a cool color on the lip, right? Most lipsticks are not in the cool color family. So when you're looking for a coral, you have to think, okay, I have a brown skin, so I want something that's going to complement it. And so I just grabbed, a lot of times I grab cream blushes, or this is Ben Nye. It's a professional brand. So this is a palette that can be used for so many different purposes. I mostly use it for cheeks or lips. Sometimes I brush it on the eye, but you have your more peachy, pinky, bright pop of color coral. You have more subdued corals. You have kind of a more true coral. A very, very true coral color that I like is, this is a blush, right? Normally this is what I put on women or men with fair skin and blue eyes, men who like shimmer. They exist. But you can also get like a nice lip gloss, right? That's, you can see it's darker. It has a nice coral. You don't have to think about a coral in the sense of this bright orange, right? Or I guess we all have our own different, what is coral to you anyway? So when you're shopping, do you have a good example?
I thought I had, my coral shirt is dirty, so I don't have it.
Okay. It's okay. No judgment. If I'm totally off on the coral family, when I think of coral, I kind of think of like a color like this, but a little bit more orange. So I have a child in the room. So
No worries.
hold on.
That's why we edit.
Okay. Yes. So when I think of corals, I think of this really nice, warm kind of sunset orange, right? And pick one that you're drawn to and just put it on. And the one thing that I love to advise anybody buying a lipstick is to get the most pigmented one. Like, don't buy the sheer one, and
Okay.
don't buy, because you can sheer it out with your own
Okay.
chapstick, right? You can sheer and make your own, like you can change the opacity of your lipstick. So if you want to get the most bang for your buck, you want to get, a good, nice, fully pigmented coral.
Okay.
And that's also a good trick if you want to, work your way up. If you have never worn a bold lip and all of a sudden you're like, oh, but I should wear a bold lip. Well, unless you have, moxie and you are just so confident, it's really hard to just put on a new lipstick color. Like, for me, it's hard. So I like to get the fullest pigment that I can, and then I'll start by just tinting it. And then I kind of put it on and then wipe it off. And then you can build up over time, put a gloss on top of it, have some fun with it. You can add like a pretty darker gloss, wearing at least 2 different colors. And I change it and manipulate it. So with coral, you don't have to think of orange. You can think of a really pretty sunset kind of pop that speaks to your brown. Does that make sense?
It does. I'd like to make a bigger statement about brown. We're all shades of brown, but I won't go there right now. It's nice.
Sorry, it cut out a little bit.
Oh, no, I said I'd like to make a bigger statement about how I really like that we're all just different shades of brown.
We are. It's true. If you go to like the Pantone directory, they have the color project, I think, of skin tones. And
Okay.
we all fall. And then one thing is that Terry would say, and she says it all the time, she's like, there's no such thing as a neutral undertone. You have an undertone. The problem is that most makeup is manufactured for people with red or pink undertones or yellow and gold. So anybody with green or blue or purple, which they do exist, especially in Southeast Asia and in Africa, you have a lot more of these beautiful, cool undertones. They're just really underserved in the beauty industry. So that's why learning how to maybe mix your own foundations and things like that is helpful. Adding a little bit of blue to your foundation if you need it, That's what I do. But that's complicated, I know. But I just want to make sure everybody knows that, because when you start thinking about it, you're like, oh, okay, so what? Okay. I don't know. In my sense, I'm visualizing and it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so a coral lip. Are you going to demonstrate for us?
So yeah, let's just go for the most bold coral right here. I think that's a good one, right? We could even go with something so bold as you pick, Tammy, is something like that.
I think, I mean, from here,
Or this one.
yeah, I think either of the three. I'm just thinking that then I think about what would balance out your eyes, which maybe that's not, is that something you
Right.
should consider or not?
So yes and no. Like I feel like if you think about it too much, you'll just never make a decision and then you'll just leave the house with chapstick. Let's just have a lot of fun, and I'll just go like super coral orangey
Okay,
coral
okay.
because it's makeup and you can take it off. So, this is obviously, I should have grabbed my brush right before, but I didn't. Fortunately for me, I have everything right here. Okay, so this is like a really pigmented, I just want to show you guys if this was in a tube, right? I mean, you wouldn't probably do this, but this is a very little amount. Maybe I'll need more, but I always like, and full pigment. So where did, oh, okay. So I always like to start right in the center, and I always like to press it in a little bit to kind of get it. And so when I'm using a brush, it's a little different, but I always like to go up here. You know, you want to lift the lips up. That's a trick I learned. Okay, and I don't have you really cute those, so I try to, I'm gonna just grab a teensy bit more. Okay, because on video you need a little bit more. Although for day-to-day look, I think this would have been fine. Okay.
Right, so maybe you want to just say a word about that because I talk about it too, but you're so focused on the face. What does video do to your
Makeup?
yeah, and your expressions and everything? I mean, how much of what's the word in English? How much is it taking away when you're
What is it?
on video?
There's my coral lip. So when you're in a setting like we are right now, you can't see the high level of detail. You see this like cool pop of color, right? If we were working in HD television, if you were, you know, doing a promotional video or some kind of marketing material, then you would need to pay really close attention to all of those details. But I think for most of us, just putting on a color like this immediately just screams fun. Like it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. It really depends on the setting, right? But if you're going to have an energetic team meeting and you know, or you have to deliver like, not, you know, if you have to deliver bad news or something, it's always better to just have a little bit of fun, you know. I don't know. I do think that lipstick, blush, those are the two things that can really instantly change your makeup and change the mood, you know. And so you need to pay attention to those colors and say, okay, well, what kind of mood do I want to give my audience? You know, when I do my makeup classes, I try to keep it neutral so that they're not focused on my lipstick. They're focused on what I'm trying to teach them. But, you know, we're having a fun discussion on fashion and trends during COVID-19. And so I think it's okay. If I would have hopped on like this, you probably wouldn't have been surprised. But
No,
it does completely changed my look.
it does. Yeah.
Completely. Yeah.
But I can only imagine how bright it is in real life because on the camera,
Right.
it still doesn't look, oh,
Yeah, maybe I can take a selfie and then send it to you guys so we can include it.
Side by side, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Never trust what you see on YouTube as what it really is in life.
That's for sure.
Right.
Okay, let's just pause for a minute.
I don't know why this, um, I don't know what's open that's making noises because I have a little itch in my nose. I don't know. I never have an, like, it's literally like one of those little pieces of fuzz that when you breathe in it tickles.
Get it out of there. All right. Oh yeah, I have a mouse. Okay. So to go with the coral lip, I was thinking about some statement colors, and these are very big this season. And I have to say, I'm going to try to stay objective on this, but since I'm American, most of them remind me of Thanksgiving. Like I think of a pilgrim coming to the shores because it looks like this costume. So I'm going to show, I don't own any of them, by the way. And I'm going to show some of them, and then I'll talk about a solution because it's something that you could just have fun with. And you don't have to buy a whole dress or shirt with a pilgrim collar. Okay, let's share this. All right, so no, let's go back here. Let's make it full size. All right, so yeah, I start on the left here under my logo. You've got, this is a traditional, so I started traditional look, and of course this is a runway, so they're overdoing it, but you've got a very traditional look with this big, what they call a statement collar, and then we're moving into more casual, so pairing it with jeans, pairing it with the cardigan sweater here. Then your third look is even more conservative, I would say, but still casual. And then right in the middle, you start to get a bit fashionable, what I would call fashionable. So you've got the really stark contrast of the white collar on the dark top, and then paired with a high-waisted, wide-legged pant and some dressy shoes and a handbag. And then you start to go more, in the direction of full fashion. So you've got, and of course her glasses help with that, but she's got the high contrast collar and even getting a shorts in there in a different color. And then the next to last photo, we've got, I think that's a skirt she has on, but a mini skirt, strappy heels and a looser silhouette for the whole shirt with the collar in the same color as the shirt. And the last photo, so let me see if I can zoom in there. Can I do that? No, but she's got I'm guessing a vinyl pant on because they're so shiny. So she's got this really preppy looking striped shirt with the statement collar built in and the vinyl pants. So those are some different looks. And what I want to suggest is that you don't have to go buy a shirt, because I think that's pretty, that's an investment, or a dress with this big collar on it. You can actually buy a removable collar, like in the old days, they used to call these dickies. So, and I should have brought I have a totally different style, but I have cuffs and a collar. It looks like a regular dress shirt, but that's a nice cheat. So you can get these in Etsy, the website ETSY. I'll pop it up on the screen later, but Etsy is a good place to get unique statement collars. So you can try it out.
Is that what you would search for? Is a statement collar? Is that what it's called?
Removable collar. Yeah, statement collar is more of a fashion term, but the removable collars, you also have more conservative ones. So it's actually good for all these video calls we're all doing, because you can just wear a t-shirt even, right? Just a plain old t-shirt, and you have this collar sticking out so that it looks like it's like a piece like this, and then the collar sticks out. So you just put it on first, and then you put your t-shirt your
on
plain shirt over it, and then the collar sticks out. So it's a way to really dress up some
So I
basics.
have a question, because I feel like the most, and you could be like, no, Natalie, you're just doing it wrong. But and of course, right now in the video, I'm controlling it, so I kind of know what it looks like. But in real life, when I put on a t-shirt, I have a really hard time figuring out what the most flattering neckline should be. And then, so I feel like when I would get one of these collars, I have tried them on.
Okay.
I feel like I want to be slenderizing of my face. And sometimes I feel like it makes it more round. Is that just me, or am I seeing things, or is there a way to kind of shop for like a different shape or size or whatever?
So it all depends on the shape of your face, and they say your ideal neckline, the depth of the neckline, is if you measure from your chin to your hairline,
Okay.
and that distance from your chin down is where your ideal neckline is. But yeah, ideal neckline. The thing is, on these video calls, and I've been noticing this more on myself, is in real life, it can look good, but on the video, if I can't see the bottom of the neckline, then people are thinking, does she have a shirt on? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on down there?
Here, let me just sit up a little bit more. I promise.
No, so I think it's a different. You really have to think about what's in the frame of the
That's
video,
so interesting.
but
I've never.
also it's not only the depth, because that's the depth, but it's the shape. So basically, you think, and I have to be careful about this because I have more of a square, kind of a square jawline, square jaw.
We're up on base.
Yeah. So if I like that, then I want to mimic that in my neckline. But if I want to bring it in balance, like if I want to widen my face, then I widen the neckline.
Okay.
I say that, then I also have kind of built up shoulders, like from doing this too long. So I don't like to show that off. So if you could think, to bring my long, narrow face or long oblong face into balance, I should wear a wider neckline, but then that's showing this off, which I don't like. So and also then as I get older, I'm getting these things, jowls.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So these are all these different, right? I mean, the best thing to do is to go into a department store where they have a variety of tops, and just pull a V-neck, pull a scoop neck that's like a low cutout, pull a jewel neck that's a high short, like a crew neck, a high short neck, pull a couple different necklines, and just go in the dressing room and try them all on and make pictures, because you're not going to remember what you're looking at, but you'll see it afterwards. If you put those pictures side by side, you'll see the difference, and you'll also have a feeling when you put it on. You'll immediately think, oh no. But yeah, the ideal is supposed to be this, move down.
That I've never heard that before. And
Yeah.
that makes complete and utter sense, because now that I am getting I've gotten really good, especially in videos, to kind of hide, do the turtleneck. But as I've gotten older, I've been like, I need to wear more V-necks. And I never wore V-necks, ever. And the more I saw pictures of myself when I would wear a V-neck, I was like, oh, I think V-necks are my new thing. Like, I should only be buying V-necks.
Mm-hmm.
But then I feel like, is it okay to have a closet full of V-necks?
Of course.
Yeah, I don't know. These are all the questions that come through my head. I got the makeup part down. I'm just like, now what because I love the boat. Is that the boat? I think that's so pretty.
A wide neck. Like
Where
it comes up high, but it is
yeah.
really open. Yeah.
Yeah. But then I realized I like it, but it doesn't do anything for me. So
I say this is why I hesitate to talk about trends, because I think you find out what works for your body, your personality, and your goals.
Yeah.
And then you can play around with it. But if a V-neck looks good on you, then stick with the V-neck. Or more, it's more about if a certain neckline doesn't look good on you, or a certain color, or a certain anything, right? So then never do that. And the rest you can.
So to take it full circle,
Mhm.
if I were to wear like a shirt like this, but then get one of the removable collars that was more like pointy, kind of giving that more optical illusion, would that work? And to still like add like a trend to my normal day-to-day fashion, would that be something that you could do? Or would you say,
Well, for you, I would, because you also have quite a long face, I would um, probably, you could get away with the wider looks, right? Because they have some that are super pointy, like almost a 70s pointy, but exaggerated. They almost make me think of like one of those rabbits with really long ears,
mhm,
but they
yeah.
point, I wouldn't do that because that's really drawing your eye like this. You could do one of the wider ones.
Oh, see, that's good to know because I probably would have definitely gone for the longer one, thinking long. I
Yeah.
would never have thought that. So that's a really good tip.
Yeah.
So
Especially
I
because
feel
also,
like if you did have a more round face,
yeah. Yeah, there's some people who argue you should just mimic everything. Like if you have a round face, you should wear round glasses, and if you have curly hair, you should wear squiggly prints. But you have to like it, right? And you also maybe you don't like that part of your body, so you want to balance it instead of accentuating it. So there's also things like hair, right? I have short hair, you have longer hair, right? So you have a longer face and you have long hair, so that's sort of two longs, right? So you could have a broad to balance it out, especially if it's something like a collar.
yeah, that's really, it's interesting to think about. It gives
Yes.
lots of food for thought because I always talk about face shapes in terms of makeup, but
Hmm.
I never think about the face shape in terms of your clothing. So that's a really good thing to think about. Just so that you want to create that balance. I know for me, once I know something, it makes a lot more sense, right?
Well, and then you know it, and then you start doing it, and it's that repeating, right? It's just like you say, you teach me how to use my makeup, and I have to practice, practice, practice. It's that knowing is one thing, and then you see it, and you see it again, and you see, and it
It's like,
becomes.
yeah, it becomes a habit. It's like,
Mm.
I know that there's fruit in the refrigerator that I should be eating instead of the cookie. Knowing doesn't really help me reach my goals, right? So it's the action part. That's cool.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the tips, and we hope you'll follow us on social media at the links listed.